I am Team Series. It is the OG once and final planet.
But the question
Allie is doing a happy dance.
The question is familiarity. What is the hook? How do you hook the player? Series to orbit, or first stage to series, or something like that. It's like, what the hell, series? You gotta think of what your critics are gonna say. And when you're when you're in the game store, and people go, "Don't judge a book by the cover." Well, that's the whole point of the cover.
It is really the point of the cover.
So Michael makes the really good point. Most people like second stage to orbit, but this is beyond Earth orbit. What about just beyond Earth orbit?
Beyond orbit. No,
because you're still
orbiting.
Orbit.
You still need Earth.
So keep it simple. It's true steampunk.
Brainstorming definitely required.
Right.
Solar system race is very similar to space race.
Right.
And solar system. Oh, good lord! I have all of these space-based games. I'm thinking we're going to need to start doing game nights that we stream. I know a certain person who may live an easy bike ride from me who has a gaming table.
It's true, and it's a gaming table that we cover up and leave whatever it is set up.
Yeah.
We got the main board graphic from Noel. His work is we can get that printed and decide on the size of a game board for the size of our game pieces.
I think we need to work on the shape of the thing that the rocket engines go on, because anytime you're doing a super fast transition between worlds, you end up with all these little diagonal things. I'm wondering if we want those to be like bursts of fire or something.
Ooh.
And just imagine that the rockets are instead standing up on their butts.
Or what if we could use like a different, let's say, instead of like random colors being what's required to complete a route, you need a specific type of module, whether it's a larger fuel tank or a cargo container for more food, because some places
mix of colors,
because some destinations the Delta V requirement is huge, but the travel time is slow, so the balance of what you need in the rocket could become a mechanic. So we could, instead of like say having these huge numbers of cards you have to play, you need to play a specific set of rarer cards.
Right. So that would really make sense if what we did was we simply had fewer of certain cards in the deck.
Yeah.
And those were the ones that were necessary to, for instance, do the burn your engines all the way straight line to Mars, as opposed to doing a Holman transfer orbit.
Yeah.
Or solar system fling.
Maybe it would be
typing that in.
So maybe it would. Another mechanic might possibly be there are a limited number of high-value things that you can buy. They're just in the game.
Now you're getting into like terraforming Mars land.
Right. And buying resources. No. We hate that map in Ticket to Ride.
No,
we absolutely hate that mechanic.
But what I was thinking is, okay, so.
Michael has a good point. A base game and expansion packs.
There's
multiple ways to do this. I know. You want to play too, don't you? You're just going to
pant turn this into a trading card type game.
No.
Okay. I'm just thinking. Michael said expansion pack, or someone said expansion packs.
So my living room is.
That's like physical DLC.
I destroyed her living room with Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, you're talking to Magic the Gathering people. There's no more
I
room
played
for
Magic the Gathering before some of you were around.
You have not yet made it to Kitten's house and seen what I have done to her living room.
Oh dear.
Booster packs are like the physical equivalent of microtransaction DLC.
Yes.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Yes.
And it sucks.
I hadn't thought of that before.
And it was...
Yes.
It was why I abandoned... One of the reasons why I stopped playing Ticket to Ride, because when I went into the local gaming store to buy a pack...
You mean Magic the Gathering?
Magic the Gathering, yes. Why I sort of bailed on Magic the Gathering is because I went into a local store to buy a pack, and bratty little kid with dad's credit card in front of me bought
Everything.
bought all the boxes on the counter.
Yep.
And it's like, well, can I get one? No.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of said, I
no.
said to the owners, you realize this is losing you a customer.
And they don't care because the money is still the money.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth of capitalism.
So you are right, Michael. It may suck, but it may bring in more income. That is part of the issue.
Yeah.
Microtransactions is not the way. Randomized boosters are not the way.
So let's keep all the comments together. So Michael first said, I keep wondering whether you could make it appeal to fans of SpaceX, Blue Origin, etc. It may suck, but it may bring in more income. So this gets the idea that, like, I bought you your own personal pink ticket to ride
tokens.
thingies. And so there's the potential that we have a base game that has one set of
little rockets and then little, hi, here's a kit that is this one favorite rocket type, and here's one with this favorite rocket type.
So customized.
Is there any licensing concerns with
There
that?
could be licensing concerns, but if it's the right launcher, some of them have some very interesting outlooks and promotional stuff.
I'm sure Starship would charge us a licensing fee, but I mean that's why you do those as expansions and figure stuff out as we go.
And
and you call them something different.
Yeah,
those things
Naming is
in
important.
there's a fundamentally, like, there's a finite number of forms for a rocket.
Right, there is.
Form dictates.
And I kind of like
it does make it's easy to make them generic.
Right, and I like the generic 50s sci-fi rocket that we have on the back, and we have
that's
on
what
the thing.
KSP does. Like, all the parts in KSP are they're homologous to real rockets, but they are more generic as well.
Analogous, yeah.
Analogous, yeah.
And and that would work. Something that's analogous to real current contemporary rockets and old rockets and and sci-fi rockets and stuff.
Yeah, the reason I went with all the real capsules on the color card was because, like, Ticket to Ride, they just have like different the different cars on the cards, and it's just they don't really mean anything other than just to differentiate the cards. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
But we could actually make what's on the card mean something.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a possibility. And there were things that mechanics-wise, and I think when I was discussing this on Friday night, like, for example, a bonus point if you attach a crew capsule to one of your routes on the ticket, and you crewed that.
It could be the end of point extra end of game extra points.
How many crew routes you made?
So, admin, can you scroll down a smidge?
How far can you go with parity?
Yeah. So we're not. This isn't parity.
It's not parity.
We did introduce it as parity in the opening.
But yeah, and then we completely proved that it wasn't parity. It's we have a playable game.
Yeah.
So that's not parity. And we were talking a little bit, and this is where we are not lawyers. We do need to get an intellectual property lawyer involved, but we are not lawyers. But there are things you can trademark, and there are things you can copyright, and you can't copyright an idea.
And Michael's pointing out that there's lots of YouTube channels that have shirts and other merch with pictures of real rockets, and even 3D printed versions, and even plushie toys. And I know there's been something that happened, I forget, was it Everyday Astronaut that did something that was not a Falcon 9 or something? Someone else may remember that story better than I do.
Honestly, I would avoid SpaceX, as many fan kids are out there, until you have very clear things on him, because that man is so happy.
It's true.
Yeah.
But NASA is safe.
NASA is public domain.
Yeah.
Government of the U.S. is pretty much public domain.
So NASA stuff is usable, but like the idea of crewed routes, that you put a crew capsule on one of your routes and that makes that card worth extra amount of points, a multiplier or something. Universal boosters where we were talking about, like, you need a booster or an extra booster or 2 boosters to make a route because
maybe you have to choose between a chemical booster and a ion engine.
Something
It's
like
true.
that. One of the things is in Ticket to Ride, one of the things that happens in Ticket to Ride is people stop drawing route cards because there's
Too much risk.
high risk, no reward at some point. And the question there is, can we add a little bit more reward to the risk by maybe putting in an event card that you can use for yourself or against one of your opponents mixed in with the route cards? That might be something fun, maybe a 10% distribution.
Unfortunate hydrazine accident.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Explosive decompression, industrial sabotage, anything that can maybe add a little bit more flavor to it and make drawing from that deck a little bit more enticing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was something. What else? There was something else I had in my mind. I think we have the right balance of cards. We were able to complete routes.
Yes. We didn't get a lot of long ones, though. We weren't...
I got 3 long runs.
Yeah.
I didn't get a super long one, but I did 2 6s and a 7.
I did. Yeah, I had 2 14. At the end of the game, I had 2 cards that were 14 and one that was a 7, I think, like points.
Mm.
One ticket I didn't go for, which I drew, was Earth to Pluto, which I very reluctantly put it back because I wasn't sure how the gameplay would, how long it would take to get there, and could we do it in the time that we had, because we were trying to stay inside of 45 to 55 minutes. So, and admin, we were talking about something like that after we played. I said, well, maybe we could have some routes have a variable factor to them based on essentially what round of the game we're in.
Yeah.
You know, which would sort of go to simulate the, you know, the Earth, the planets going around the sun relative to Earth, and sometimes it's longer and sometimes it's shorter.
So, like, different ideas that I played with as I started, like, okay, so how do we even start this? So, like, one idea I had was you have things on tracks where the planets each move 1 each turn, and where that puts them changes, and that was just way too hard to figure out how to implement.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, that one I threw straight out the window.
I feel like the way it's balanced now, like the behind, like the story behind the constructing the routes as a given amount, is that you're sort of building up the average requirements for the infrastructure of the transportation network in space.
Yeah, I mean, so I wasn't involved in really any of the discussions about the
Which
creation
makes
of the
you
game.
I
an
wasn't either.
honest playtester.
And I hadn't played the game. I'd seen the board because I helped Noel debug some tabletop simulator stuff, but I hadn't really gone. We didn't discuss how the game worked or anything like that. I could sort of see from the board. Okay, I see what the general mechanics of it are, but that was the first time I'd played it, and it worked well, and I think I won.
Yes.
It wasn't a full game. We
were
stopped
pretty-
because
We
of
did
time.
stop. We did stop. So maybe that's another thing, is we need a mechanism. We need a clearer mechanism for stop, and maybe we have too many little rockets on the table to be able to put down. We need to sort of do the math and see.
I think the number of rockets were okay. Our normal games of Ticket to Ride run an hour or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Scoring is always the most miserable part of Ticket to Ride, which is why we play it online.
It is.
It's true.
That's
It's
why
true.
I tried to help with the little counter things, and the thing that the in-person game has, where you move the marker around the board, is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Kerbal. The Eat Your Train route. The movie.
Yes.
That's what I was
Okay.
getting at is
We started with that.
We tried Eat the Train route. That was the first beta test.
Mm-hmm.
We ate so many of our little rockets that we could not complete routes.
Yeah.
but
I mean, it was excessive.
maybe it could be more like a tunnel where sometimes you have to put in more than one of the same color.
Well, some of those ones that are just
Right.
really bunched up, it would be identical to the sort
The
of
ones with
Asia
the
mechanic.
Asia with the
Yeah.
X where it
Yeah.
just eats. Yeah. Because of the layout of the board, yeah, some of the routes, if we're going to go with rectangles, and maybe we change the tokens and we change some of that look and feel, but right now they're rectangles. But, it's too packed. It's just,
Yeah.
unless we go and we redesign the solar system a little bit, which I suppose
We have a mechanic where the specific type of technology card that you're playing, it lets it be shorter.
sort of almost. You could buy mechanics. The concept in the UK of buying those mechanics.
Do we like UK?
No.
I like UK.
I like
we
UK
can
too,
agree
just
that we
not
do
as
not
much.
like.
It's not as fun, and it takes more time.
Yeah.
That was always my issue with the UK.
And so admin does point out those who want to join us in our next Ticket to Ride games. Yeah, we're in the voice chat. We need to
Yep.
play more Ticket to Ride, less Space Dwarves.
But the space dwarves dance, and I've been told we're not allowed to dance, but the space dwarves can dance.
Space Dwarves can dance. They have they're sanctioned. They're allowed to dance.
It's not sanctioned. They dance
Let's
anyway.
dance.
So, but yeah, I would like to try another physical copy
Hmm.
and maybe just play test some more, and then we can play test some more on.
It'll be up to you two.
Yeah, it would be up to us here in
Yeah.
Eville, but I think we also can refine the tabletop simulator version.
Yeah, whatever you do in person, we can just port into TTS.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean the TTS framework itself, it's quite powerful.
Yeah.
We didn't have any scripting, like if you look at the Uno game that we play.
It's scripted.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's
the one
there-
that I've never been able to pull off successfully.
maybe it's because it's scripted.
That
It
one.
might be.
True.
But I didn't script it, but it has some things built into it.
Yeah, score tracking or places that your cards go.
No,
specifically.
you don't score in Uno,
Well, okay.
right?
Some games
You
You
just
would-
lose.
We just
You
we just
lose.
play the Pamela variant where you end up with I've got everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The scripting has been entirely out of my experience with it, so it wasn't really approachable for this time round.
And time.
And we were moving
Yeah.
fast. Like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't know about we were doing this until Pamela says, "Hey, come over. We're building a game." What? We're building a game.
I was just
Huh?
I was just pumping out the artwork and getting it into the game.
I would like
and that
to
was
say
that was the tricky part. Getting it
I adore getting to collaborate with people where I can say, so there's been this thing in the back of my brain that I've been wanting to do. It is never going to happen if I wait until I have time to do it. Here is my idea. Go and run forward and find the best version of this idea, and folks do. That's one of the amazing things about this community. It's like in Minecraft where on the diagonal said, hey, we're making a resort island, go. We have learned to give each other freedom to create, and created the level of trust where we know how to say yes and it's just fabulous. It's just fabulous. All right. So minor dissing of how all of us have Deep Rock Galactic, and we almost never play it.
I have never played Deep Rock Galactic.
I didn't even finish the tutorials.
I needed help.
Yeah, I kind of jumped in and I started playing it and I realized, oh, it's one of those arena type games. I'm done.
I enjoy it. Kerbal, if you want me to play, just ping me.
All right. So our Minecraft folks are working on some technical difficulties. All of you out there, what would you like to see to make this a game you would want on your shelf, on your hard drive, to play with your friends in the moments between all the other things we do? Okay, we are now solving the Deep Rock Galactic problem.
Yeah, and there's always lag, right?
Yeah,
there's
lag
always
is the worst part.
So with the tabletop simulator, things I would love to see, and this would be scripting, so we would have to do research on it, is the alignment of the tokens to the paths.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might be possible to get more granularity in that if it's scripted.
Right. The shuffling and the automatically flipping of a route card as you draw it.
Yeah, and scoring would be nice.
And
better scoring.
The scoring system would be good. That's things I would look for in a game that I would put money down on.
And we've got new mechanics that we want to introduce that we have to figure out how to to introduce. And I think putting those in is the key, one of the keys for this.
Yeah, make it our own.
It has to be our own, yeah.
Tabletop Simulator is not terribly resource heavy.
You know what? I find every computer I've run it on, it makes it get very warm. And I've run it on 3 different machines at least. It runs well, and I was playing with, I have a Mac with a Mac M1 chip in it, Apple M1 chip, and I was trying the metal version versus the standard start mode for Tabletop Simulator. It seemed to work better this time.
Okay.
Like it didn't get quite as toasty warm.
I wonder if we can use one of those off-the-shelf game engines.
Like, Unity.
They've gone weird.
Oh, okay.
They've gone like...
Their current CEO and board have taken a flying leap off the deep end of late-stage capitalism.
Oh, okay. I know that a lot of NASA things were done in Unity, so I withdraw based on new information.
Unity would have been the right choice 6 months ago.
Yeah, but I mean, what we have to do before we think about the game engine is we have to get the mechanics. We have to get the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
And then we have to turn it into a revenue stream for CosmoQuest.
Yeah. With a
Did the
little
microphone
bit
pick
of
that
change for the developers.
The microphone
take a few
absolutely
bucks
picked that up.
for the work they put in.
Hmm?
A little bit of change broken off for the developers to...
That could help.
Throw some coins to your citizen science game and communicating human beings.
The money we're making is for this one and that one, not this one.
Yeah.
He put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
This is my
Everyone
donation.
deserves to be paid for their labor.
I mean, this is the thing.
See,
In our last session, we're going to be joined by Aaron Wood, who goes by Just One Scarf online. He's an artist who does the planet paintings. You've seen the Visit Pluto kind of style things that you've seen in my background and Fraser's background on Astronomy Cast. And he did the Mars Craft artwork that we've been using during this event, and I happily paid him for that. Mm-hmm. That was out of my pocket because human beings deserve to be paid for their work.
My help was entirely unsolicited.
Yes. Unsolicited work counts as volunteers doing good. But when we ask people to do things, we really do try to pay them equitably. which is why we end up begging on the internet, because I have this problem where I want to give all content away for free and pay all the workers. I was not designed for capitalism, I'm sorry.
No one was.
No one was. We're just stuck with it.
But
yeah,
there are moments where you have to kind of say we put effort in and we deserve to eat.
Yeah.
And that's just the short and long of it.
Well, I mean, it's sort of similar to you have to look after yourself so that you can look after your family so that you can do this.
Yeah.
Because if you can't do the first, none of the rest matters.
Yeah, put your own mask on before you help others, because if you can't breathe, you can't be useful.
Yeah. I mean, that's been one of my things that I have chanted in Discord. I don't know how many times since is the pH is greater than F is greater than W.
Yep.
That formula.
So in the background, Real Fake Admin is going $5 until it's a palindrome. I just need to share that, because apparently my love of palindromes is contagious. Can I get you to do a tour of Minecraft? We're having some tech difficulties in the background. Okay.
Yep. Allie, do you want to, before I do that, join Zoom?
What?
Join the even Zoom.
So we're slowly working on now edging things back toward our next regularly scheduled. That was my foot, not him. You're good. We are now working to return to our regularly scheduled set of events. Next up on the schedule, I'm going to be joined by Megan Russell and Than Putzig, and we're going to talk about water on Mars. I have really loved the story of what we think Mars is like and how it's been constantly changing throughout my career and throughout the eras of history that I've enjoyed reading. I grew up near Lowell, Massachusetts, so Percival Lowell always was kind of like, hey, hometown hero, who had really weird thoughts. So during the next segment, we're going to be discussing that a little bit. I'd really like to see $5 more donated. I'd really like to see $5,000 donated. 5,001 or 999.
We're
4,000.
at 5,102.
Oh, overshot in a glorious way. $13 away from Palindrome. I am a fan. Next up, we're going to be talking Mars water. Than and Megan are two Planetary Science Institute researchers. They're part of the SWIM project, and they know about where the water is today, and that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now, what excites me is some of our Mars-based Mars crafters in Minecraft have started finding water in our 8-bit reality.
There's a well.
There's also coal. So my dream of fossil hunting on Mars is getting realized, folks.
That is a huge discovery.
It is. So we're just waiting to see when Gordon's stream is ready to join over in Discord. I am currently filling air and inadvertently unplugging my laptop from the monitor.
Michael just asked, is donating directly to CosmoQuest different from the donation link in this chat, which seems to go to the Planetary Science Institute?
So if it says Planetary Science Institute at the top and then beneath it, CosmoQuest versus FY 2024, the versus FY 2024 with CosmoQuest in it, that goes to us. If you land on the generic Planetary Science Institute, that is the wrong place, and that goes to the general fund for the entire institute. I'm trying to figure out how my monitor stopped working. I will sort that out while producing the next thing.
I'm ready for you.
Okay, we're gonna switch over.
I'm in.
Hmm?
I'm in.
No, in Discord.
We're
I know,
working.
So many things.
We're working on sorting everything out.
Oh my
All right, so I've found the chat. Yes, the CQX-FY24 link goes exactly where you want to be. It says Planetary Science Institute.
Explain why it says Planetary Science Institute on the full URL.
Yeah. So that's because that's our parent organization, and that's how we're able to have tax-deductible status where the law allows, mostly in the United States. So donating to that, basically the way it works is the Planetary Science Institute handles all of our benefits, all of our administration, all of our accounting, and they take a amount of overhead off of the donations to cover the costs, the actual documentable costs of what it takes to support us. Then everything else goes directly to salaries and software. And the occasional replacement when hardware breaks and things like that. So yeah, as long as it says CosmoQuest versus FY 2024, that is the correct link. All right.
All right, switching over to Minecraft.
Now you're live.
Now I'm live?
Yeah.
Hey, alrighty. So we are on Mars. We're going to check in. It's going to be a faster visit, faster tour, because we had so much fun talking about our game, the game that the name of which is yet to be completely settled. So as you can see, I'm going to back up here. We're going to go in a slightly different order today. So we're going to see the whole site from afar. You can see we've got the rocket. We've got the yellow crane there in the middle, and off in the distance we've got the other things. But we're going to start down here, and we're just going to go from where we are all the way to the other end, because as you may remember, there was discussion about a well. Apparently, there's a well, and the well has water in it, as one can tell by the fact that I just fell down. And it looks like they've been doing work. Wow. There actually is a fair bit of work going on down here. They've found some water source somewhere on Mars, and they're plumbing it. They're building aqueducts that the Romans would be proud of. And apparently it just goes into the darkness